Hi, I'm Rick Sanchez, and I want to share something with you that's kind of personal, but important. And hopefully, I'll be able to share information with you that'll help you. So, as you may or may not know, I've been in television news most of my life. I worked at Fox News, CNN, NBC, Univision, and over the years, I've done a lot of things. I've interviewed 4 presidents. I've covered wars. I've covered riots, elections, won many awards. Interviewed Fidel Castro, Mikhail Gorbachev. So, fact of the matter is, what that really means is I'm old. And suddenly I'm well into my 60s and I'm realizing that I'm undergoing some changes. And one of the most prolific or important things that I've seen about that accumulation of age in me is recently, because I still want to appear on the air, so I took that medication that helps you lose weight. The one I chose was Manjaro, and it for the most part worked. And I knocked off about 20 pounds. And after I was done losing 20 pounds, I realized that my neck looked really weird. Like, I don't know if you can see it on this angle, but I got all this loose skin. In fact, here, I'm kind of gonna show it to you so you can kind of see that? See that? I mean, I'm kind of embarrassed by it. So what I did was I started doing some research to see what I can do about this. And obviously being a journalist, I did a lot of research and I wanted to look for somebody who could take care of this, who was really good at it, double board certified, looked at their credentials. And then I started looking at YouTube videos and I found one particular doctor. I was very impressed with his YouTube videos. It's a Suria plastic surgery. That's the YouTube video, Suria plastic surgery, if you want to find and look at the YouTube videos yourself. And the doctor's name is Dr. Kusuma. So I went to see Dr. Kusuma, went to his office, and when they showed me, because, we always look at each other, when we look at ourselves in the mirror, we look at ourselves straight on, right? Rarely can we look at our own profile. When I looked at the pictures that they took of me profile-wise, I saw just how different my neck looked as a result of the fact that I'm into my 60s and the fact that I've also lost all this weight. So I had a consult with Dr. Kusuma, and he made some suggestions to me. As you can see in these pictures that they took of me, you can see that it's more than I thought it was. See, I thought I could just go in there and maybe they could do something that's called a direct neck surgery, where they just get rid of this and sew you back up. He said, no, that's not going to work for somebody like you. So he explained to me that he has to do a neck procedure on me. Some people call it a neck lift. I think everybody seems to have a different name for this. So I'm going to undergo this procedure with Dr. Kusuma. I really am impressed with him. You can kind of tell what a person is like when you talk to them. And I think I got a really good sense of both his knowledge and his character by studying his YouTube videos. And because I live here in South Florida, the Miami, Fort Lauderdale area, I think he's probably as good as anybody out there, if not possibly even the best, from the research that I've seen. So now I'm going to endeavor to see how this procedure goes. And obviously I'm talking to you before the procedure happens. I'm looking forward to sharing with you the process as we get into it. So check back with me. Thanks again.
So Rick, we are about to go back to fix all of this, right? All of this.
Yes.
There's so much of this everywhere.
Yes.
We need to get rid of this little waddle and then create a nice jawline, jaw shape.
Mm.
And so you slept well yesterday, you said?
I did.
How do you feel?
I feel good. A little nervous anticipation, obviously, because, anytime you do something like this, you feel a little bit nervous about it. But, and I think it's important to ask the question. So, I ask you, what should I expect after today? What's going to happen today? You're basically going to be pulling this skin back here, right?
Yes, correct. All the neck skin will be pulled back. All this neck skin will be pulled back. The jowl will be pulled back to make you a little bit wider here so that you have a more of a masculine shape to it. A very nice linear jawline.
Yeah.
And then a 90-degree angle of your neck and all the skin gone.
Now, it's interesting. You and I had a conversation earlier, and you told me when I first came to see you that I should not have just, I think they call it a
direct excision.
A direct, yeah, where they basically just take this and cut it off kind of thing. And you said, that doesn't work for me. Why did you say that?
Well, because, you know, you have jowls, right? And then you have little narrowness on the sides here by the jawline. So that will not be impacted by this. The jawline will not be as sharp as I want it. And then this incision for somebody who's going to be on air and moving your neck around constantly, I don't want that to show ever. And you're clean shaven. If you are a little bit more obese, if you had a bit more of a stubble and you're not on TV all the time and you're not a, you know, kind of a public figure, and you're just doing this for other purposes, maybe it would have been a reasonable option, but you have to look your best because it's part of your profession.
One of the things I worry about, and I think most people in my situation probably would, especially men, because we don't have as much hair to hide things, is the incisions, and they go around the area around, I understand, the ears and everything. You know, what is the certainty that those aren't going to be so visible? What is the technology doing today that makes those things go away or not be as visible as they were in the past?
Well, forget technology. I think it's basic fundamentals. Fundamentals are to understand that, you know, if you have good, healthy skin, good genetics, you do a proper surgery with minimal trauma, you do it in proper planes of dissection, you manage tension of the closure, you do proper careful stitching, and you don't put, you know, you don't violate, you know, kind of blood supply and things like that to the skin, and avoid maximal tension so that it kind of creates a separation. If you do all those things, especially in the face and neck, because it's so well supplied with blood, a non-smoker, non-diabetic, healthy person, universally they heal great. There will be some areas that may not heal the best, and in those cases you can always do some minor touch-up revision or scar revision or laser or something like that.
And by that you mean like where it becomes either a little whiter or redder or keloid?
Yes, any of those. Keloid is thickening. Yeah. Widening is just, it just looks like it's not a thin line. And then redness is basically pigment or brown color.
And you can take care of that? We
can definitely take care of that. So that's why it's not a concern at all. We've done this on bald men, and you know they do fantastic, and they have no hair to cover anything, and they do absolutely fantastic. And
what you're doing for me is called a neck lift, right? For lack of a better term.
No, I'm very descriptive in the way I describe things, you know. So it's called a lower face, you know, this part of the face right here, all of this, and neck lift, because we're trying to work on your jowl as well. You have a lot of skin here too, so we're going to improve that and obviously give you the neckline. So I call it a lower face and a neck lift, because the upper part of the face includes the forehead, it includes the eyes. We're not going there.
We're not doing that.
So we're just doing the lower part of the face and the neck, mainly focusing on the jawline, on below, a little bit above to the jowls as well.
And the incisions are in front of the ear?
Yeah, incision is going to be right in front of the ear. In one of these creases, it'll go into the hair, so we hide it. It goes and kind of goes behind the ear and a little bit into the scalp, and then one underneath here, which nobody really can see when it's healed.
And within 2 weeks, those incisions will start to start to go away.
Yeah,
the marks.
Pretty much, you know, I mean, they won't go away yet, but it can be easily hidden, you know, so it'll take, you know, this incisions mature over time. They take sometimes months, but that doesn't mean it's visible. It's just maturing underneath, you know, and doing its thing so that it becomes less and less noticeable. During the first 2 weeks with a tiny bit of camouflage makeup, many people are presentable in public. Otherwise, they do just fine. They go back to work, and for someone like you who's on TV, with a light makeup that, you know, the artist can do, you would be very presentable on TV without any problem.
Usually just with even a light powder, you'll be able to...
Yeah, whatever the makeup artists do, I don't know exactly, but they would do it, and you would be very, very presentable. You'll look a little swollen maybe, but that's temporary. Every day it's going to get better. And
I guess we're about to get started. So final question is, how long is it going to take you to do this procedure today?
So usually my time is about 3.5 to 4 hours. That's a very, very standard time period that it takes me to do this, because this is not a rush. I don't get extra bonus points for finishing, so I always take my time. So it's not, I don't measure it by how fast I do it. It's about how well I do it. So it takes 3 hours sometimes, it takes 3.5, 4, whatever it is, but the time period is between that.
general anesthesia?
It's IV sedation,
IV
twilight
sedation.
anesthesia, no general anesthesia, so no breathing tubes, no machine, no gases, no paralytics. It's basically giving you a nice, restful sleep with propofol and some local anesthetic injected, and you will be in a very, very pleasant sleep for the next 4 hours. When you wake up, you'll be like, oh, is it already done?
I'm nervous and excited at the same time. So let's get started.
All right.
Well, I can't believe it. It's been less than 24 hours since my surgery, and here I am, feeling no worse for the wear. I'm not going to exaggerate in saying this is the greatest feeling of my life, because it's not. There is a certain sense of pulling, maybe that's the right word, a little bit of like tension that you feel in your face in certain places. The night was rough at times. It's hard to sleep. Guys especially, we don't like to sleep on our backs, ever. And so for me, just sleeping on my back, or forcing myself to sleep on my back, was uncomfortable. So I basically slept on the couch, and every 2.5 to 3 hours I would get up. And at first, after the recovery, which ended sometime around 2-3 o'clock in the afternoon, I went home and didn't feel anything other than being tired and groggy from the medications and from the surgery. But then as night set in, around closer to midnight, I started feeling a little bit of pain, a little bit of pressure, and that's when I started using some of the meds to relieve it. They generally worked, but throughout the night, during certain intervals, it would return. And when I say pain, I don't mean an excruciating pain. I mean more like a pressure pain that kind of feels difficult. Had a little bit of a dull headache as well. Took some Motrin for that, and then I was fine. I'm still, even right now, and I don't know if you can tell, feeling a little bit of the after effects of the medication. Feeling almost like a little groggy, a little high, a little, nothing terrible, but just enough so that I know that I'm going through this. But I will say this, considering it hasn't even been 24 hours since my surgery, I'm actually surprised at my comportment, my sense of energy. My wife was yelling at me because I got up this morning and I saw some flowers that were dying, so I grabbed the water hose and started watering them. She's like, get inside, don't do that. And yet, doctor, you say it's okay to do a little walking. In fact, it's not, if you could do it, right?
I encourage it, but without any undue strenuousness to the activity.
Yeah.
Your head is elevated, head is not bent over, you're not leaning over, you're not carrying anything heavy. It's okay to walk, it's okay to water plants gently with a pipe or a small little container of some type. It's totally fine to do so, and actually we encourage it, yes.
So this was a 3.5 hour surgery or something like that. Considering it was a 3.5 hour surgery, I'm surprised at how well I feel. I don't know how I look yet, really, because it's too early.
So a little bit of a reality check. This is pretty common, where the first 24 hours people are on some type of a nebulous high-low kind of a situation, because anesthesia is still on board to some extent. You have local numbing medicine there, that's a long-lasting numbing medicine. You are still not fully feeling the brunt of the surgery just yet, because usually swelling and all that peaks second, third day after surgery. By then you would be more groggy and frustrated because you may not have slept well enough, you haven't eaten well enough, so all that crescendos second, third day after. So the next 2 days may be a little bit rougher, may not be. Again, you have a great attitude about you, you're taking it in stride, you're already smiling, you're already doing stuff, you're keeping your mind occupied and busy, and so all these are positive things that you're doing for yourself, which bodes well for you. But it's not a surprise, or should be a surprise, if the next 2 days are tougher than today. But it's a very transitory thing. Right after that, it starts getting better rapidly. You have great healthy tissues. That surgery went absolutely great. You look phenomenal already. We took a look at it, and your neck looks unbelievably great. And so I have no doubt that in another 2-3 weeks, you're going to be very ready to go on TV.
The compression is key to making sure both the incisions and the swelling are controlled.
Managed, yes, correct. And so we'll take all of this off tomorrow. We'll take out the drain tube that you see that's coming out of the back of the head tomorrow as well. You'll be able to wash your hair, you'll be able to wash, your face, the incisions. We'll give you a new dressing to put on. That's pretty routine on post-op day number 2, which is tomorrow, and then guide you from then on.
So for the next one, so we just talked about the first 24 hours. The next 24 hours, repose, right?
Yeah.
Stay on the couch.
Well, walk, stay on the couch, take it easy. Don't be overconfident that you feel better than you felt you would and do more because you're a Superman. Just take it easy. Yes.
Sounds great. Thanks, Doc.
All right.
All right, let me cut to the chase. It's now been a month and a half since I had my procedure to essentially get rid of that loose skin that was just dangling off the bottom of my neck, which I thought distracted from my message. I communicate for a living, I communicate on television. And to have that loose skin there just did not seem like something which was working for me as a communicator. So I had the procedure, and I think you can tell the loose skin's gone. And that tightness, that firmness that I was looking for, just to get back in this area right here. Look, I'm not trying to look like some, like I'm in my 20s or 30s or even, early 40s. I'm not looking like, I don't want to look like a spring chicken. I just don't want something that distracts from my message when I'm on television. So because I had a little bit of time, I decided to have this procedure. It was only a month and a half ago, and I think the mission has been accomplished. You tell me. I mean, if you look at my neck, you can see that essentially we're there. Is it going to continue to get better? I understand it is. There's still some what they call induration, which is essentially the hardness, the swelling, the inflammation that you get from a procedure like this. And as every week passes, it's gotten better and better and better. So I think it's only going to continue to get better. But look, 3.5 weeks into this, I was back on the air. I was doing my podcast, doing interviews, just did an interview with Tucker Carlson that's been seen by some 3 million people or more all over the world. So, the stakes were high with something like this. So I feel good. I think Dr. Kusuma has worked with me, worked with my particular needs to make this happen. And I'm very grateful to him and his staff over at Suria Plastic Surgery for taking me from a guy with a lot of gobble down here, which I didn't feel good about and I thought was unsightly, to where I am now and where I'm going, which I think will be even better. And when you do something like this, it makes you want to take care of other things. I find that I eat better. I think more about, my presence and my appearance, my stature, a lot of things. So all in all, very, very good experience all the way around, and it's only going to get better.